Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Exploring with Danielle, where I am being as vulnerable as I can be with anyone that happens to stumble across my little channel. So today I would like to talk about finding your self-worth and sort of how I discovered this in my personal journey. It's very important to understand what it truly means to love yourself. And so this is what I discovered. So I discovered the meaning of self-love during meditation. And within my meditation, I created a safe space for myself to go. And you can do this yourself. You can make it however you want, wherever you want, and as beautiful as you want. You can add fixtures, crystals, lighting, anything you want. So I was in my happy place, and all of a sudden, and I was in my happy place with the intention to discover self-love and discover what that meant for me. So within my meditation place, my happy place, I saw myself as a little girl just walking up to me. I would say I was probably about 7 or 8 years old. And as soon as I saw myself within meditation, I knew it was like click, the light turned on, and I saw this little girl. And I realized in that moment that that little girl was still within me. I knew that I wanted to protect her. I wanted to make sure she knew how loved she was. And I wanted her to know how important she was. And that's when it dawned on me. I'm like, if I have all of this love for this child aspect of me, this child-sized Danielle, then why can't I do that for myself now? That is me. And I'm kind of babbling, but it was just such a profound moment of understanding to see that that child lives within all of us. We all have that inner part of us that was never really able to grow up. And that was another way that I discovered how to openly love and accept everybody around me within and through their pain, within and through their coping mechanisms. Because after seeing that child like me, I knew that that resides within everybody. And you know, fundamentally, we all want to be loved, and we all want to show our love to those around us. And so that was a very profound moment for me. It was a very profound learning experience. And I guess that was the first stage or the first step in fully understanding what self-love means. And even with negative self-talk, you know, it's easy when you do something wrong. You know, I'll speak for myself. It's easy for me to talk down to myself. Well, you know, I'm such an idiot. I shouldn't have done that, or whatever the case may be. However you may talk down to yourself. Imagine that childlike aspect of you standing in front of you. And imagine saying that to that little person, and how much that would hurt. Because essentially that's what you're doing to yourself when you say those things. It's like a wound that cannot be seen, which in my opinion may often be worse than an actual wound because it is unseen. And so not many are conscious to it. For sure, a lot of the people around you are unconscious to it, and to yourself to a very large degree. To myself, with wounds within me. our unconscious. So another aspect of learning what self-love is the act of being present. And I explain to others when I talk about this, I say, when you love somebody, when you care about someone and they're hurting and they need you, are you there for them? Do you sit with them? Do you listen to them? Do you talk to them? Do you try to help them through whatever it is that they're going through? If the answer is yes, which I would assume that it is, turn that inward and do that for yourself. When you're feeling sad, when you're feeling mad, when you're feeling frustrated, sit with yourself and try to get to the bottom of that and ask yourself, why? Where is this coming from? What part of me is hurting right now? What part of me is needing attention right now? One of the ways that I worked through, and I still have, I don't give an end date to my healing process, but, we can often adopt coping mechanisms through trauma, through situations that we are just trying to survive in. And so a really good way to be present with yourself is just to ask yourself these questions when you are feeling emotionally charged or triggered by a situation you may find yourself in. So what does that mean? Say I'm in a situation and Bob over there is making me angry. Well, Bob did this and he made me angry. Well, and a lot of the time it's easy to externalize that anger, that frustration onto something else, onto a situation, onto a person. But in that moment, you can turn that around and say, well, what is it about this person that I'm getting so upset by? Why did Bob saying that make me so frustrated or make me so angry? What part of me is calling for my attention through this situation? What part is trying to come to my conscious mind so that I may learn a lesson about myself? And that's being present with self. And I've said it, many times before, but being present with self can be very hard because often enough we will hold guilt, we will hold shame. There are a list of feelings that we can hold within ourselves for an endless amount of reasons. But it doesn't mean that you don't deserve the time, the effort, the compassion of just being present with yourself and understanding why you feel that way, right? So that is my understanding on self-love. And the more I learn, the easier it gets. It does get easier. And the more that you learn to recognize coping mechanisms and release them, the lighter you feel, the better your heart feels, the better your body feels, the better you're able to interact with those around you and build healthy relationships. And one of the biggest and most important things about this discovery of self-love is learning what your boundaries are and actually being able to stand firm in your boundaries. And I don't mean boundaries as in I'm putting this wall up so you can't get by. Boundaries to me are that fundamental level of who you are and what you will stand for and what you will not stand for. And once you know what those boundaries are strongly and why you have those boundaries in place, then that foundational level of self will just become more clear. So I hope that helps, and I wish you much love and light. in your day. And I'm sending you so much love. Thank you, and have a good day. Bye.